You've essentially taken $27,000 and made north of $50 million from the markets. Is that true?
Yes.
And you learned to trade within 6 months.
Yes.
So find out the statistics for your strategies and what you then utilize to trade.
So in terms of finding out strategies, okay, let me explain one strategy. So it's based on human nature. Originally, the strategy comes from human nature. So let me give you an example. Let's say you bought a stock at $10. Stock drops to $1. Next day, you feel very frustrated. After 2 months, stock hasn't moved at all. After 6 months, stock gapped up to $7, $8. Your instant reaction is to sell at the open. There's no way, most of the time, 99% of the time, people want to cut their losses even. So I'm in there, knowing you going to sell. I will place myself in a short positions, and as soon as you sell, cause a huge red panic as other people having the same reaction, then I will be able to take that 20% in profit. And that's the original idea of the strategy. Then you want to track down the market cap, which market cap works the best. Maybe it's 10 million to 100 million, maybe it's 100 million to 1 billion. You want kind of to narrow that down. So you want to focus on maybe 10 to 100, 0 to 10 million float. And those are just the criteria for this reaction pattern. Then you want to focus on the volume based. Volume is how many shares are traded in that day, right? So if that candle, daily candle is red, that means most people are selling. Then the stock gaps up to your original price. The volume has to surpass the intraday volume because there's more people that got stuck in there trying to sell it to you, or you're like the person who's stuck in the previous candle wants to cut it even now. So there's 10 people try to sell, 2 people try to buy, so of course stock goes down. So you can also try to narrow down the volume range. Let's say 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, which volume works the best, which volume has the best reaction. So you can kind of next time when you trade, you know exactly what you should do, which market cap, which volume, and which price range works the best, and how much do they generate in terms of reward. Let's say each time you place a trade, you make about 20-30%. I can narrow it down to in terms of a decimal point. So let's say for first red day, it goes down to negative 26.4% in average.
So those level of statistics, that level of insight, rather than just, as you say, 30%, you're actually going to the decimal point. What's your process of collecting that data? Are you going through past data and putting these filters on, as you mentioned, whether it's the float, whether it's the market cap, whether it's the volume? Is this what you're doing? And then by doing that, you're creating the strategy, you're creating the edge based off the data you're collecting from the market?
Correct, yes.
So is it a case of just back testing, or are you live testing as well?
Live testing and back testing, yeah, both.
How important do you think it is for traders to go through that process? Because, as you mentioned, a lot of traders will not put in the necessary work, and a lot of traders aren't using statistics. They're using intuition, or maybe a lot of the time, I would imagine, they're just taking information maybe from online, whether it's a mentorship or a YouTube video, but they're not doing the actual work necessary to even take that strategy. They're just maybe taking a technical pattern only.
Yeah, so that's the problem of the traders. There's few things that you really have to know before you get into this industry. First of all is, as I said, that strategy comes from psychology, human nature. So you have to make sure that you understand the fundamental of the strategy, not just copying, there's a higher high from the previous day, then you buy. Not from a based indicator. It has to be based on a psychology that people tends to react. You kind of have to guess what people are thinking behind the computer, because everybody basically clicking their mouse, making their decisions. So making a counter strategy of the majority people of what they're thinking is very important. Number 2, backtesting is also very important, because statistics will give you very accurate where you should go in and where you should get out. So, and also what's the maximum reward you can get, because people go in and let's say they bought in at $2, they don't know where they're gonna exit.
Yeah.
They short it at $10, they don't know where they're gonna cover, and they might miss the perfect opportunity to cover, and the stock bounces back, and they miss the opportunity. They feel FOMO, and they make a mistake. Then it goes downhill from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been there many times. That's why I have to be very accurate and precise about entry and exit. But the most important thing is the strategy has to make sense fundamentally. So if it doesn't make sense, if it's just a pure technical, you buy when the signal crosses here, you buy when the signal crosses here, it just doesn't really make
When you
sense.
say fundamentally, do you mean as in the fundamentals behind the stock itself, or do you mean in terms of the statistics?
The fundamental
And the psychology.
and on the psychology part, yes.
Okay. Is fundamentals something that you look at all? Or do you primarily look at the psychology, the technicals, and the stats?
Primarily look at the psychology, yes.
Incredible. Interesting. And in terms of, if you were to redo your journey, for example, and you had to learn in that 6 months again, because when you started, it was like 10 years ago, maybe the technology had advanced by now to maybe even speed up that process of getting the statistics, for example. But is there anything you would do differently? Is there a process that you would follow now if you were to start from zero?
I'll be honest, in terms of data collections, there's much easier tools to do it. And there's a lot of tools out there that gives you 20 years worth of data.
Wow.
The biggest problem that I found is, especially when you are in this small cap industry, a lot of tickers tends to do lots of reverse split, and lots of dilutions and warrants. If they do that, it's impossible to find the flow on an accurate date in the past, let's say past 5 years. So that is the major problem, because when you want to narrow down the specific market cap and float, and if it's all changed up, you did a reverse split 16 times already, then that's really the big headache. So you want to be live tracking it, and I personally keep all my data starting 10 years ago, manually tracking it, live tracking it on that date, so I know exactly what the flow is. But I still haven't found a tool yet that gives you accurate flow and market cap going back a stock that did a reverse split. Maybe their name has changed.
So it's adjusted for it.
Yeah,
And kept the data from the changes and everything.
Yes, and price get adjusted too. So it's it's a mess.
Makes it much difficult.
Yeah.
So even though there are tools that can help, it's hard to get the accurate data that you actually need.
Yes, and lots of tickers that don't really have the accurate flow at the beginning. Sometimes when we're trading live, there's five sources: Finviz, Bloomberg, and dilution trackers, and they have all different flow. It's horrible.
Do you believe that if traders followed, say, the blueprint of everything that you've done, that they could achieve the same results, or do you believe that there's only a very few and finite amount of traders who can, in the retail world and from the independent traders who can hit that 8-figure return level and multi-8-figure return level?
It's very difficult. I think the statistic is right, and there's only, I believe it's even worse, like 92. If there's 100 people, 92 people will not make it. And the rest of 4 people will cut it even. Then going to the rest of 4 people, then 2 people will be barely up, and there's gonna be 2 person left. 1 person is up 100K, and the first person is up 10 million. So it's I have a lot of brokerage owner friends, and they tell me the statistics. It's actually like that. So.
Do you think there's something special about that one person? That it's not something that someone could learn to become, but something really just within them that makes them different?
A lot of people go into this industry because they see how much money they can make. I actually love trading. I just love being there and love to being competitive. But you cannot be so competitive that you feel FOMO about it. So be willing to take the loss. First of all, people are not coming into this game for the right reason, and second, they cannot last as long. and people tend to get too emotional, fight one ticker for 1 or 2 days, blow up their account, they never come back again. And the key component for this is you have to be in this game long enough to see how yourself really behave throughout the years, and find a way to actually, like a method to, let's say, withdraw your money after a profitable win. Think about that withdrawal money is actually a loss. Find method to counter yourself because it's very I would say anti-human nature game. So and a lot of people are not in this for, they give up in the middle, maybe in the course of 1 or 2 years. They don't really focus on the strategy they're developing. They don't have the passion about it. All they have passion about is how much money they can make. And they don't put enough work into it. It's a very boring because for myself, I'm sitting here and maybe tomorrow there's no trade, maybe day after tomorrow there's no trade. You're expecting, pretty much you are not expecting you are going to make money tomorrow. So it's, a lot of people can't really handle that.